Hey everyone, today we're going to learn how to get your character started on this server, along with making some gold quickly here on UOAlive, and go through some of the ways that I make my gold. If you're unsure what to play, what characters are good on this server, or you just want to do some research on your own, I've linked the UOAlive website and their Discord down below in the description. But typically, since this server is Age of Shadows, you can easily get lower reagent cost gear and good swing speed and damage increase gear for both caster and melee range builds. Shout out to Temp House here on UOAlive for helping me get started. I think the guy's name was Sir Hoser, who got my first LRC suit when I started playing. But really, a lot of people here on here are nice and patient. Anyone can help you on this server if you get lost or overwhelmed, really. I see a lot of tamers on this server. Since there is an extensive leveling system for pets, taming seems to be one of the top metas on this server. Leveling taming isn't that hard, and there's plenty of guides and scripts for taming on the Discord if you ever need help, or just message me, Frog, and I'll help you out. Basically, anything coupled with taming is going to make your early game a lot easier on the server, and you can buy some good starter pets from the vendor search. I'll explain the vendor search here in just a second. I personally made a summoner to start, since you can afford a cheap, lower reagent cost suit, and you can easily AFK the skills. Honestly, it could be easier and quicker than taming. It's just the class itself, the summoner class, is a bit busier than everything else because taming, like really the pet, will do everything for you. Your summons will do everything for you too, but you just have to do just a little bit more work than what a tamer would have to do. So when you make your new character, you want to choose New Haven. Here where I'm at right now. Choose New Haven as your starting zone. New Haven will have all the moon gates, NPCs, newbie dungeon, everything at your disposal in order for you to get started quickly and easily. The new player vendor stone here, I'll show you, is an easy way to get started as well. You see here, you have full spell books for just about everything, recall runes, runic atlas, rune books, even some resources to get yourself started. And actually, I'm kind of poor. You can see I only have 2.6 million. I know which may sound a lot or sound a little depending on who you are, but I've spent a lot of gold here lately. But anyways, some of the things on here you can actually find a little bit cheaper in the vendor search. All you have to do is left click on your character, select vendor search, and you'll see this gump will come up here. It's pretty easy to use. You can just search the item, search what you're looking for. Like say you wanted to start a caster and you needed some lower reagent cost gear, you just select it, right? Search, and it'll start showing you some of the lower reagent cost gear. So like this one has 16 and it's only 22 gold, right? It's an easy ring to get. There's a bracelet. You can see there's a lot, and you can refine your search. Maybe you want mana increase, lower mana cost, faster casting, whatever. It's on here, and it's pretty cheap. Vendor search links all of the player-owned vendor NPCs in the world to one easy access location for you to find whatever gear or resources you need. And since this server has a pretty good population, you can find just about anything and everything. If enough people ask me to, I'll make a whole video dedicated to the vendor search and how to use it if it's a little overwhelming for some people. So you've chosen your character, you know what gear you'll need and how to get it, but where do you start? How do you start making gold? How do you start leveling up your character? When you first make your character, it's really hard to make gold. Typically, you should focus on building your character's skills up in order to make some gold, and most of the time the people here on the server are nice enough to supply you with some newbie gear to help you get started anyway. But you should find a safe place for your character to cast your spells or play your music and fight the low level enemies here on New Haven to get started. But one of the best places here is the newbie dungeon. I'll show you that. The newbie dungeon is right here, right by the bank. You can see new player dungeon entrance. They do have a looking for group system. If you don't want to play by yourself, you can play with other people too. You can also just fight on the island itself. There's plenty of things to even tame and fight here if you want. But we'll go ahead, let's go inside and I'll show you. Inside here you'll have, typically ratmen, mongbats. There are some harpies, earth elementals. Not really anything too crazy. Some metans, ogres, orcs, Once you make it to the end over here, you go up these steps through this teleporter, and there is a second dungeon. It's a little bit harder. There's some things in here. It's a little bit more challenging, but this is where you'll want to go to hone your skills and maybe start off making some money. Quick tip to make sure you're using the Razor Enhanced client, which is, it looks like this. It makes things a lot simpler for you, like auto looting gold. When you use auto loot, you just set your bag, your backpack, enable auto loot, and then you can also change the delay and the max range of it, and add items. Which items? So you just set your bag, add item like gold, and then enable auto loot. Start. Same thing for scavenger. Set your bag, set your backpack up here. Add the items that you want. You just click it in your backpack. Treasure maps, gold, whatever, and then enable it. Another quick tip: if you die, you can teleport to a resurrection NPC who will recover your body for a couple thousand gold, which sounds like a lot when you're starting out, but it becomes chump change pretty quick, and it's better than losing all of your gear. This guy right here will summon your corpse for you. It's the corpse summoner right here. 8,000 gold. You can get your stuff back. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Once you get confident enough, you've mastered the newbie dungeon and you're ready to take on the world, you can use the moon gate on top of the bank right here. Special locations, UOAlive Community Center, and this will be your rune library. This is where the rune library is located. Every location is easily accessible from the library, like dungeons, champ spawns, shadow guard, and even places for crafters, like mining caves, forests for lumbering, and good fishing spots. All right, so I've talked enough about getting started and making gold. I'll show you some of the ways that I make my gold. You can go down the steps here. Oops. In this room, you will find rune books that will take you to both Tram and Fell dungeons. I think Despise is a really good dungeon to start out, along with Cove. Cove are two really good starting dungeons for you to start working on your character, making money. Sometimes you can find some decent gear, but the better gear you can do later. If you go here to this book and choose Cyclops dungeon and recall, this place is really good for money too. It's a little bit more difficult, especially for melee, because they hit really hard. They hit like trucks. You see someone's already here doing this. These guys drop a good bit of gold too. You can see here the Titans and the Cyclops. The Titans drop around 600 to 700. The Cyclops will drop around 400 to 500 gold. I'm probably going to get in trouble. I may make some people mad with this one. But if you go down back to this book that we were at and go to the Ankh dungeon, I actually have it saved here in my rune book. If you go to the Ankh dungeon and you fight these named guys right here, they drop a lot of gold, and they're really not that hard. So you can see here, these guys drop a good bit of gold, right? And they're really not that hard. They're really easy to kill, and sometimes they drop some decent gear. You can get kind of lucky and find. There's greater artifacts here. If you farm these guys, you can actually get a good bit of gold from them as well. Champ spawns can be another good way to get some gold. If you actually go here in the rune library and use the champ spawn finder, it'll tell you which ones are currently active right now. Looks like Ice East. We use the runic atlas here. Select Ice East, Gate Travel, Recall, Sacred Journey, however you want to do it. This one is located just down here. We'll go ahead and get started. You can see as a summoner, we're doing a lot of damage. I think this other guy here is also casting Wildfire. But you can see we're handling these mobs. Thunderstorm, Wildfire does a pretty good job of taking out the low-level mobs. So we're about to finish this, and you can see you get some power scrolls, and you'll see a bunch of gold being dropped on the ground. 500, 600, 500, 600, and my scavenger is just picking that up for me automatically. I think before I had maybe 7,000, 8,000 gold, and you can see just how much gold is being picked up just by walking around and picking up the champ spawn gold. So that's another way of making gold pretty quick. Treasure maps are another good way of making gold. They usually have, sometimes they have tens of thousands of gold in them. You basically, whenever you find one, you have to decode the map, and then you dig it up at its location. Trillium has a really good video on that. I'll probably link that in the description as well, so you can watch her video. If enough people ask me, I can show you as well, make my own video. Just watch her. It's really good. And of course, vendoring is one of the best ways to make gold. Sell, be a part of the community, sell your own stuff. You can see here where I sold a legendary scroll of animal taming for $750,000 gold, not too long ago. So, that's a good way of making gold yourself. So that's about it as far as I know. If you have any questions, just message me on Discord, post something here on YouTube, anything, and have fun. Thanks.